focus on the less. Live in the hills, but it still get a spread. Started with a live, but it still reinvest it. Fear how I feel, then you feel it's a blessing. I just want the lesson, I just want protection. I'm up and I'm down, but the sound like progression. Farmer never plans if he waits for perfection. Finger to the down.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you had a wonderful day. Today was another crazy one. Why? The market continued the rally, and today was a lot more confusing. We have a lot to talk about. We have a lot of catalysts, and if you didn't see it after hours, Tesla reported earnings, and nobody had this on the radar. Elon announced that Tesla has sold 75% of their Bitcoin. Now, we don't know if they sold it at a loss. It was in the last quarter, and there were some big drops in that quarter. Maybe this one was Elon. We don't know, but a lot of people are talking about this. Bitcoin no longer has diamond hands. Yeah, it's not there. They still got 25%, but the big story was Tesla earnings, and surprisingly, not surprisingly, they're only up about 1.5% now after hours, meaning the market makers probably won. So we got a lot to talk about. We're probably going to have a very crazy day tomorrow. Not only is it the earnings reaction, not only is the market in earnings mode, but now tomorrow you're going to be getting that Euro data, the ECB, as well as the Gazprom news. So whatever happens with that, it is going to be big, and we got a lot to talk about. So drop your thumbs up on the video. Make sure you're subscribed, and if you don't know, first link, baby, youtube.com/the stock market. And before we start this video, I can visually show you the gifts that were brought to me today by Lending Tips. So one, here is a misprint. Instead of, they didn't embroider it. So these are like, we have like merch misprints pretty much. I don't know. These kind of are rarer if I think about it, but it's different if you got the crew neck. So he dropped me off this one. Then he came and then he gave me 100 bars or 100 ounce of silver. Again, it's another, we got, look, you got, what's up, baby? Anyways, that was that one. Then he got me some Yeezys. So again, I just want you to see how crazy all of this is. We might give these away too, honestly. And then he brought me this military case for storage. And then here it gets better. I'm telling you, man, he watched all the ads. He bought, and then we got emergency food. Yeah, I didn't ask him for any of this, okay? So I'm not preparing for anything. I'm prepared now, but like, what? Yeah, I thought you guys would get a kick out of that. So, right off the bat, let's get into the keys. Today was a very, very weird one. Why? Because we saw the risk-on attitude. You saw growth stocks go up today. Actually, what was interesting, even though a majority of the industries were green by the end of the day, throughout the first like 30 minutes, even when the market was rallying, only discretionaries in tech were up. And it was very, very weird. But why I'm saying it's weird, simply because the news in the dollar just really didn't support it. We woke up with bad news on the capacity for EU. The Mario Draghi in Italy, that turned out to be very, very bad. The euro started weakening again. The dollar ended up being up, but for most of the day, the market really didn't even react to it. And then just like we're saying, there was a couple of bad earnings, but for the most part, everybody was focusing on, hey, things are not as worse as we feared. And that's pretty much going to be something you're going to hear a lot. But today was very weird. Again, we've been talking about the dollar, bringing up all this stuff. Today was like one of the first days where everything kind of got ignored. In equity land, they did their thing. Remember what we said, there's equities, the bonds, the Fed futures, and then anything that has to do with Europe and all of that. But pretty much the yield curve, everything else, there's so many different factors. But today was one of those days where stocks kind of did their thing. People were as bullish as ever. And even then, coming into Tesla earnings, I mean, it's still hanging up there. So we're going to see how that plays out. But that was the first case. Today was a very wild one. It was very hard to put your finger on exactly what caused the up moves. We had this weird little down move throughout the day, and people were asking what it was. It kind of correlated with more news of Google saying they're stopping hiring. Last week, they said they're slowing down. And if you remember, we started this week with Apple layoff news. A bunch of other companies, even like Ford and Lyft, they announced layoffs today as well. But that Google one appeared right here with this drop. But then UNG just started rocketing and ended up 10% on the day. And then we started getting bad Italian news and what's going on there with the ECB. So there was a lot going on, but even then, it was just really, really hard to put your finger on it. And it seems like everybody's in earnings mode, and people like this dip that we were, this buy the dip that we were getting. But that's the first key. The second key, you just heard me say say it, the market is fully in earnings mode. This rally has been huge since the lows of June, literally just a couple weeks ago. We are already up 12% on the NASDAQ, which is massive. It's only been 3 or 4 days. Literally, when we were buying our earnings plays a couple days ago, we were near lows, and now we are pretty much breaking out on the last couple of months. So very, very interesting, but the rally has been big. But the only thing I'm taking away from it is simply earnings premiums are jacked up now, and it's about 2 to 3 times what it was last week. I sold another Facebook call. We hit the Netflix. Again, the Microsofts are even up, but pretty much this last couple days of a big rally, it jacked up the premiums on the upside. Put premiums are not going up as much or going down too much. And now over these next few days, and especially next week, this is what I've been saying. Everyone's like, is it a bottom? What's happening? But bro, next week is crazy. You have Powell, you got Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, Google. You literally have so many earnings and Jerome Powell. That's probably where we're going to see everything get confirmed. But for now, keep your eye on earnings. The market ignoring everything and responding to whatever it wants. That is earnings mode, and the premiums are showing it. So keep that in mind, and hopefully you're in gear because we got a couple more weeks of this. So that was the big one. And then finally, this is probably going to be very big tomorrow. The EU news is going to be absolutely huge. So it added to the confusion today, like I was saying, with Italy and that drop and all of that. But just keep your eyes out for it. We'll get a reaction in the morning. By the end of the day, we'll chill out again, even by Euro close. But whatever happens from there, it has a chance to move the dollar, move the bonds, and then maybe we'll see if equities respond. But keep that in mind. And then also watch Snapchat. They report after hours. And why I'm saying to watch this, because just remember, last Snapchat earnings, it affected Google, it affected Facebook, and it got a little bit weird after those couple of weeks. So if they have bad guidance, it could affect a lot of different companies. If it's good, it could also have a positive effect. So Snapchat earnings will be key, and then you'll get a jobless claims report tomorrow. Anything related to jobs, like we said, it could be a lot more important. So it may have the ability to move. The real estate data today, even though it came in pretty big negative, down 5%, expectation was down 1%. Market did its thing and ignored it, but keep your eye out for that jobs report, and then you're going to get the Philly Fed Manufacturing Index, and like we talked about, that could actually end up being a pretty good recession indicator, so we'll see what happens. But let us get into the plays. So right off the bat, I got a couple of plays, and actually this one I'm excited about. Remember, I played something related to this about 4 weeks ago, again with the whole solar and energy and all of that, but first play is going to be TAN, and why I'm playing it. We heard from Biden today. They're coming out with that emergency climate executive order. We heard about that at the beginning of the week. He talked about it today, but pretty much I think we're going to get it tomorrow. So we'll see what happens. But overall, even a lot of the stocks are doing good. And remember, we heard about that bill that they were trying to do. So I like it. The plays are dramatically cheaper than even a couple days ago when they hit a high. So I said, hey, let me grab one of them. And as far as the plays, I grabbed the August 1983 dollar calls, grabbed 2 of them at about 80 cents. So I like this play. I think it could be an interesting one, but I think it kind of depends on whatever we get for the news. So watch out for that. That's number 1. And then number 2, baby, Pinterest. Why Snapchat? Like I said, Snapchat could be a big, big one, but Pinterest is usually one of the best sympathies to Snap, even beyond Facebook and Google. But if Snapchat moved 10% today, it was a monster move. We've seen this with Netflix and Tesla today. It might not move too much on the day of earnings, but doesn't mean the sympathies can't. So gonna be eyeing this one tomorrow. We'll see if we could get a pre-earnings play on Snapchat too. That would be even better, but I am liking Pinterest. That one is definitely sticking out. And then finally, Microsoft, baby. I really like this one. Remember, we got this play about a week or 2 ago, and I thought I was gonna get cucked on it. Well, turns out it's up 50% now today, but this is what I like about it, because now the premiums are up to the point where if it keeps going crazy, they're just going to go nuts from here, and I think they could get a little bit more juice, because again, a lot of the other earnings play, we've seen 100 to 400% between Netflix and then even Facebook, and even some of those Apples went up, so these ones aren't moving as much, so there's still a little upside, I think. But now too, if it does come down from here and anything brings it down, I think the premiums won't go too low, and it could kind of create a floor to sell set up for another play. So I only have calls on this, no puts. We'll see how it plays out over the next few days, but simply their earnings is next Tuesday. That's right around the corner. So I would love to make sure we're set up, and depending on where the premiums go from here, it could definitely create some opportunity. So those are the main plays. As far as anything else, I did make a couple ones. The only other purchase that I made today was a Qualcomm 125 put for August. I grabbed one of them for $1.67. Remember, I grabbed the puts. We talked about it yesterday. The puts, they didn't go any lower. They're just at that 50% mark, which is kind of good, but that strong dollar impact, I was like, all right, let me grab one. And the chip makers were absolutely killing it, but I even lost like 30, 40 cents, like 20, 30% on that one by the end of the day. So wasn't too good, but I still like the general idea leading into earnings. And then everything else. Oh, I did grab a Netflix continuation. I grabbed a next week 245 call at 68 cents. It went up to $1. I don't think it closed there. It actually ended up closing break even. It was up almost 100% at one point. This was the earnings continuation, and even though I got it at the bottom of the day and the stock went up 15 bucks, the premiums were still a little juiced in the morning, so we didn't get too much of a gain, but still holding that. And then I sold the Shopify way too early. We talked about that yesterday. I got about 50% on it, went up to another 100 or 200% by close, but that one killed it. Took profits on that one, took profits on the Apple calls. Remember, we did the puts and calls on the news. Puts are down now, but I got $1.84 on the call, so I only spent like 90 bucks or 100 bucks for both plays. So walked away with a small $60, $70 profit on that one, and then I bought the 10, and then I took profits on the Facebook. Like we said, we got a pre-earnings run-up play about a week ago. I think just literally last week. I bought them at $200. I sold one of them out today for $600. Paid for that play. I still got an old put that I'm up on for January, so now I got a free call, and then we still are sitting on free puts, so we will see what happens. But those were the only other plays. As far as just the general market or anything else that may come up, just keep your eyes out for any earnings. Watch the bonds and dollars. We'll see if there's a dislocation, but overall, we are in earnings season, so I hope you're ready. But that is your watch list, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure hydrate, healthy, ready to go. Make sure post your watch list. Make sure we see you there in the morning. I need the armor on. I need the helmet shining. And I need you to remember, baby, the rough waters, they make a skilled sailor. But understand, the stock market is like the ocean. It does not go after you. It does not care what happens. All that matters is if you are going to be a good sailor and respond to the environment, baby. So a lot of you have been trained. I need that mentality in the right place. You got to keep your peace. Again, you're seeing what the market could do. This is what's going to happen as we get into the end of the summer and end of the year. So stay locked and loaded. Keep the energy up and stay hydrated, okay? And sleep good. And know we love you, baby. And shout out to Chad. Shout out Lending Tips. Shout out to Cole. If you got one of these, the real ones. Again, this is a fake one. I love you. And how did you like the no hands? Was that good? Did you like no hands? They were like, Josh, how did you stop the video? I'm surprised you were like, Josh, you could actually talk without your hands. Do you know how challenging this is? Okay, Chad, I love you. I gotta go. I know I've been wasting your time at the end. I just love you. I miss you. I know I'm gonna see you for 7 hours. I'm just saying, this is our moment. Just enjoy it, bro. It's okay. I know somebody's looking at you weird right now. Ignore them right now. So just hug them, because it's all love. We only spread love. Love in long term, baby. How you gonna get mad at love in long term? What's wrong with you? Well, okay, I gotta go. Bye.